The Battle of Tata, which took place in 1872, is one of the most prominent confrontations during the French colonial period in Morocco. At that time, France was seeking to expand its influence in Morocco, especially in the southern regions such as Tata, a strategic desert region. The French attack on Tata met with fierce resistance from local Moroccan forces who were determined to defend their territory. The battle was fierce and intense, with the French using advanced military tactics, while the Moroccans relied on defensive strategies and the desert terrain to their advantage. The battle ended with the victory of the French forces, which had a significant impact on the colonial strategy in the region. In the late 19th century, France had begun to implement expansionist policies in Morocco, especially in the southern regions such as Tata. This policy was part of French efforts to expand its control over the desert regions and advance its colonial interests. Tensions between the French and Moroccans escalated due to the French attempts to impose their control over Tata. There were frequent small clashes between French forces and local tribes in the area, which resulted in an escalation of the situation. In 1872, France decided to send a large military force to secure control over Tata. The French campaign was led by experienced officers, and France assembled a military force including infantry and artillery as well as the logistical support necessary to succeed in the mission. French forces began their attack on Tata in the summer of 1872. The French forces advanced towards the city and surrounding villages and used advanced military tactics such as heavy artillery to dismantle the Moroccan defenses. The French attack was met with fierce resistance from local Moroccan forces led by local tribal leaders. The local tribes were determined to defend their lands against colonial incursion, and many volunteers joined the fighting. The French relied on direct attack tactics and heavy fire support from cannons and machine guns, while the Moroccans used fixed defense tactics and exploited the desert terrain to their advantage. The battle was intense and difficult, as the French forces had difficulty dealing with the desert terrain and harsh weather. In contrast, the Moroccans took advantage of the natural conditions to carry out counterattacks. The battle resulted in significant damage to the city and its surrounding areas. The fierce fighting left significant human and material losses on both sides, as property was damaged and the forces faced logistical difficulties. The battle did not receive much international focus at the time, but the conflict was part of the wider conflict between colonial powers and local powers in North Africa and was monitored by other colonial powers. As the military pressure from the French forces continued, the Moroccan forces began to face increasing difficulties in resisting the attack. The superiority of the French in weapons and tactics led to a decline in local resistance. At the end of the battle, after intense fighting, the French forces took control of Tata. The French victory paved the way for their complete control of the region and securing their colonial interests. The Battle of Tata had a significant impact on French colonial expansion in Morocco. The French control of Tata helped consolidate their grip on the southern region of Morocco and affected the military and political balance in the region.